Hey everyone, let's talk about servers and clients. You hear those words thrown around all the time, right? But what if I told you that the picture most of us have in our heads is just, well, wrong? Today, we're gonna flip that whole idea on its head and get to the real story behind the internet's most important relationship.
Welcome to Super Courseva. Unlock the secrets of the internet and master computer networking. Let's dive in.
All right, so let's kick things off with a kind of weird question. What could ordering a burger possibly have in common with browsing the web? I know it sounds totally random, but trust me, the answer to this question, it explains pretty much everything about how the internet actually works. So just hang in there with me. You see, every single thing you do online, I mean everything, from sending an email to, watching this right now, it's basically a conversation. It's just a simple back and forth, and it always starts with one side asking for something. And that conversation? It's got a name. The client/server model. This is like the fundamental building block of all networking. Seriously, on one side, you've got the client. That's the one asking for stuff. And on the other, you've got the server. That's the one providing it. A requester and a provider. That's really all there is to it. Okay, and this is where that burger analogy comes right back in. Think about it. When you're in a restaurant, you are the client. You're making a request, right? I'll have a cheeseburger. The waiter and the kitchen, they work together as the server, getting you what you asked for. And the network? Well, that's just the air your voice travels through to place the order. Believe it or not, that is the exact same relationship your computer has with a website. All right, so that's the basic idea, but this is where we run into a huge misconception about what a server actually is. So let's get ready to bust a major tech myth. Come on, admit it. When I say server, this is probably what you picture, right? Some giant humming machine locked away in a freezing cold data center. We've all seen it in the movies. We just assume a server is a special kind of computer. But here's the thing, and if you take away only one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this. Server and client are not physical objects. They are jobs. They are roles that software plays. It has absolutely nothing to do with the box it's running on. It's all about what it's doing. I mean, check this out. A tiny little $5 computer, like a Raspberry Pi, can absolutely be a server if its job is to host a website. And on the flip side, a massive supercomputer becomes a client the second it needs to download a data file from somewhere else. You see? The size, the power, none of that matters. It all comes down to the role in that specific conversation. Who's asking and who's providing. And get this, it gets even crazier and more flexible. This whole client-server relationship can happen right inside your own computer. You can have one program acting as a client, asking for info from another program on the exact same machine, which acts as the server. It's like a tiny conversation happening entirely inside your own device. So if it's all just a role, does that mean one machine can play both parts? Oh, absolutely. And this is where we get to the double agent twist, where a single device can wear two different hats, sometimes even at the same time. Let's take an email server, for example. When you check your inbox, your phone is the client, right? It's asking for your new emails. And the email server, well, it acts as the server, handing them over. But for that server to send an email out to someone else, it first needs to know where to send it. So it turns around and asks another server, a DNS server, which is basically the internet's giant address book. Hey, where does this go? Now, in that conversation, your email server is the one asking. It's become the client. See? A total double agent. Okay, so this probably brings up a pretty logical question. If any computer can be a client or a server at any time, then why do we even bother calling that big box in the data center a server and my laptop a client? It kind of seems like we're contradicting ourselves, but there's actually a really simple reason for it. It all boils down to one simple concept, its primary purpose. We give a machine a label based on the main job it does, like 99% of the time. It's not about all the little things it can do, it's about what it was built to do, 24/7. Exactly. So we call a machine a file server because its entire career, its main gig, 24/7, is to serve up files to other computers. Your desktop, on the other hand, its main job is to let you, a person, browse the web, write documents, do tasks. In other words, its main purpose is to act as a client, making requests for you. That's its primary role, and that's why we call it that. So the next time you look at your laptop or your phone or whatever device you're on, don't just see a single thing. Try to see a machine that's constantly having hundreds, maybe thousands of little conversations, switching hats back and forth between client and server. The real question isn't if it's a client or a server. The real question is, how many times has it been both in just the last 5 minutes? Pretty cool to think about, right? Thanks for tuning in.